Hello guys, how are you all doing? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. I have some TikTok scandalous behavior that has gone on. If you have been on TikTok, you might have already have seen this because there have been so many Etsy sellers who have come on to complain about what has gone on in regards to Tubie-Tape gate, Tube-Tape gate.
She trademarked the word Tubie so that anyone who uses the word Tubie in their Etsy listings, she can report and get their accounts violated and get their listings violated.
And it all stems from this one particular Etsy shop owner from the UK who has quite a large Etsy store.
I am genuinely so angry. Someone reported all of my listings on Etsy for the word Tubie-Tape and said it's a registered trademark.
So a quick debrief, those who suffer from chronic illness and have to use feeding tubes or catheters, anything of the like, have to use something called Tubie-Tape. The people who use these and use Tubie-Tape are referred to as tubies, and it's a really nice close-knit community where people are trying to help each other out, as you can imagine. Now, one of the things that people sell is something called Tubie-Tape. Now, Tubie-Tape has been coined that for quite a while, and it is quite literally what you'd think. It is tape that goes across tubes to be able to stick them down. A lot of them have Etsy storefronts where they'll post really cute designs, plethora of different ones to fit any occasion, just to jazz it up a little bit. It's a really lovely idea instead of there just being like a standard sticker.
People find the specific type of tape we're selling, people call it Tubie-Tape. Tubie-Tape is essentially just sublimation printed medical tape, and everyone is unique in that they have different designs, but what you're going to find in all the stores is basically the same thing. We all get this HypaFix medical tape. It comes in rolls, and when you get it, it just looks plain white. There's nothing to it, and we heat press our designs on it and just cut it to certain sizes. There are also some other Tubie products that people sell, and they use that same language to reference them. So this is something called a Tubie pad, and people use them not just for feeding tubes, some people use them for catheters as well. We use these as an alternative to gauze because, you know, they're reusable, you can wash them, and honestly, they just kind of look a little cuter than gauze, if I'm being honest.
There is one Etsy shop owner who is in question for doing a very scandalous thing. Her name is Faye Bingham, and she is up here. She has an Etsy shop called Tubie Life UK. Her pages have now since been deleted, so if you go and try and find them, you're not going to be able to. Don't worry, I did in fact record her apology video before she took down her whole channel.
I was advised to protect those trademarks by reporting infringing content. And I did this with no consideration for anyone else.
Now, as you can imagine, there are a lot of people who suffer from chronic illness who are looking for or selling Tubie-Tape. And like I've already said, that term Tubie-Tape has been around for a very long time. Faye Bingham took it upon herself after seeking legal counsel sometime at the end of last year. She was advised to trademark her business name, bearing in mind her business name is Tubie Life UK. She didn't just trademark that, she trademarked Tubie-Tape, Tubie, anything in relation to that. Not only did she decide to trademark that, she also decided to go and personally flag accounts and other sellers who were selling and listing things under Tubie or Tubie-Tape.
Today I made the biggest mistake that I think I have ever made in my entire life. I hurt so many small businesses ran by disabled and chronic illness creators today. I also hurt the wider Tubie community. A lot of listings on Etsy. I reported the listings that used the words Tubie-Tape to sell patterned medical adhesive tapes. Last year, I was advised to protect my business and my brand by
getting trademarked. This was because there was a company trying to register as Tubie Life, and it scared me and it panicked me. And so I sought legal advice, and they advised that I trademark the key important words that I used in my business. I was advised to protect those trademarks by reporting infringing content. And I did this with no consideration for anyone else. I am everything that the comments in the comment section have been saying about me. I am ashamed of myself. I'm not proud. I am disgusting. I didn't even consider the effects of other businesses in this space. I tried to report the companies, the businesses, the listings that used the words Tubie-Tape to protect my business, and I shouldn't have.
I will be honest, one of the things that makes this even more egregious is the fact that she is from the UK, I'm from the UK. We have something called the National Health Service, which means that we are not having to pay for our health service. Obviously, you can go private. The general rule, we get free healthcare. She is targeting these sellers who, I'm pretty sure most of the ones that I've seen are American, who do not have free national healthcare. So I do just want to point that one out.
I can't edit them. I can't relist them. They're gone. If you sell Tubie-Tape on Etsy, watch out, because this person is going after your listings. It's messed up. Tubie-Tape is a term that everyone uses for medical tape that's on Etsy.
Now, I have found multiple creators who this has affected, but there's one creator that I saw called Hannah, and she has the Etsy storefront of Chronically Aware up here. Whenever I mention any of these women, I'm going to be sharing with you their storefront, and I will also leave it linked in the description if you or you know of anyone who needs Tubie-Tape. She was fortunate in the fact that she saw this coming and she put her storefront on vacation mode, so it didn't affect her. She then went and she changed everything to varying different names as long as it doesn't have Tubie-Tape. But she makes a point that I didn't know, because I do not sell on Etsy, is that every single time you put up a listing, they charge you 20 cents.
When you make a listing on Etsy, it charges you 20 US cents to post that listing. That means for everyone that had like these massive takedowns, if they didn't lose their shop, which some people, due to the amount of takedowns that there were, actually permanently lost their Etsy shop. If they're now having to pay 20 US listing to get their listings reinstated. Now, I know that 20 cents doesn't seem like a lot, but if you're selling your product for only like between $3.50 and $5, because that's like the average price of like Tubie stuff, that adds up really quick. This is an expense that people were not expecting to be having.
Not only has your shop got a load of violations struck to it, it might have even got taken down. I read some people saying that theirs was actually taken down permanently. Not just that, but you have to pay to have it put up, so you've already lost revenue and now you're having to pay even more money. We have another woman called Julia who was extremely unhappy about what was going on, as she should be, and she started up a storefront with her friend, and it's called Joy by J&J. I will put it up here. She has had to change all of her listings to feeding tube stickers or feeding tube whatever, taking away from the original name of Tubie-Tape.
I've always been the kind of person who will do what they can to support small businesses. And about 2 years ago, I opened up one with one of my best friends. And together we sell what was formerly known as Tubie-Tape and Tubie pads and some other securement devices, all of that stuff for people with feeding tubes, as we both have one and know the struggles that come along with it. So waking up to this, with all of our listings being taken down, was not what we expected. Giving you the facts straight up. If you look through old Facebook groups, websites, resources, everything, Tubie is a term that's been around for at least 10 years. It's a term that people with feeding tubes use to kind of build a community. It's a way that we all kind of feel connected. And that term being copyrighted simply just hurts the community. A community that is already struggling for accessibility and to feel supported. And that's why a lot of us have opened up our shops. So to go out there and copyright a term that is not yours to copyright is just not moral. It's not a morally acceptable thing to do.
She's also pointing out that yes, Faye is blocking the fact that anyone, you cannot sell anything with Tubie written on it, or Tubie in general, in the form of stickers. It cannot have it written on it either.
It's the update you're all waiting for. Faye Bingham, the owner, of Tubie Life UK, she is trying to hold on to Class 16, which means that that prohibits people from selling stickers and decals. You know how many people do that? You know how many people sell stickers and decals with the word Tubie? A lot. So, Faye, what was your apology for again?
Then have Alicia, who runs Spoonie Sets up here, and she also says that she has received multiple violations from Faye.
I'm Alicia. I own Spoonie Sets, and I was one of the small business owners impacted by the takedown of listings with the title Tubie in them. And I just wanted to let everyone know that all of my Tubie-Tape listings are now up and available on Etsy for people to shop.
And this has just happened whilst I'm editing, but Alicia has come back on to, I think it was her account, receiving another from a completely separate person in the UK. What the hell are we doing over here? Trademarked something else, which is just absolutely ridiculous. So whoever this is has basically jumped on the bandwagon whilst all of this is going on to try and steal the idea, it seems like, of trademarking more things.
Just want to alert some people of a new update on Tape Gate, Tubie Talk, whatever everyone is calling it. Someone seems to be trying to jump on this train in the UK. Another person filed for a trademark, filed on May 11th, so yesterday, so definitely after they saw all of this happening. He filed for Tubie-Tape sheets. So I'm not going to share who this individual is, but I just think it's really gross to try to continue to take advantage of the disabled community.
What most gets to me is the fact that this is a community that is built off of everyone supporting each other. A lot of people having chronic illness, and they're just trying to sell something that'll just make things nicer for the people who are having to wear these tubes on a daily, regular basis. And then you then have someone from within the community that tries to backstab everyone else just for financial gain. It's absolutely baffling. And Faye does come back on, as I've already shared clips of it. She comes back on and she says that she feels so bad about it and that she can't believe she's done it and she's really disgusted with herself.
I'm shocked at my own behaviour and lack of consequence awareness that I showed today. I will be closing my business for 2 months because I cannot reinstate those listings, and I wanted everyone to have enough time where I was not accepting payments or taking money whilst other people's shops were down and they were having to put in a hell of a lot of work that I caused. I don't know how else to make it up to those businesses because nothing ever will make it up to them. I made a business decision. I acted like a big corporate business and I forgot my morals and forgot who I was.
Even if that was a mistake, which I just can't imagine, so you were then still going around and personally reporting these accounts. People have accounts of that. You are still going around and purposefully, it's mad to me. Anyway, so she did make one last post, and this is the last post that I ever saw from her. She said, "I know I can't fix my actions from yesterday or the effect it had on the small businesses and the wider community. Here are the actions taken today. sent forms to IPO to surrender both trademarks of Tubie and Tubie-Tape that were registered for classes 5, 10 and 6 respectively, followed Etsy policy to request the relisting of all affected listings. What happens if someone's account was permanently deleted, and that can be an absolute faff trying to get it back? I don't know, at least she's making the right steps, but I still think that it was just an extremely crappy thing to do. So this was from her apology video. Someone said, the more I've read up on this, the worse it became. You filed the copyright in December. You waited until nobody could contest the copyright and then reported the Etsy shops and got them removed. And Chronically Aware, who we've already discussed today, said, I spent over 8 hours changing all 158 listings on my shop today when I should have been studying for finals. The apology is appreciated, but it is too late. Many shops are now at risk of being permanently closed because of these takedowns, and Etsy will never be the same for those of us selling Tubie items after this. And someone else said, you are not sorry. You are sorry you got caught. You could have trademarked Tubie Life, not just Tubie or Tubie-Tape, and doing that is different to reporting content. That was next level meme. I 150 million% agree with this. The copyright thing was a thing of itself. The actually going and reporting these things after the fact that you've copyright, yeah, that's not cool.
I am sorry because of all the pain, the hurt, the panic that I have caused.
But will she come back? Will she not? I don't really know, but that is basically the roundup of what has been going on with these Tubie-Talk creators. Anyway, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.